Testing 1 2. Testing. Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to share and to be a light to my brethren. Jehovah, I ask that you give me the ability to speak according to the spirit of the OAHSPE, to tell the truth, to minister to my brethren. Jehovah, I ask that you give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the things that I'm going to talk about. I ask that you would bless the efforts of all the faithists who are proactive. They want to share the light. They want to be used by your angels while we are on the earth. Jehovah, I ask that you would give new ways of understanding for the faithists so that to be a working part of the body to spread the light to the world and to encourage us as well as we live on the earth to do what is right, to redeem the time. Jehovah, thank you for your word, your light, which is the only hope for mankind. And I thank you in your name, so let it be. All right. Thank you, brethren, for joining me. My name is Yaquab Ben Yisrael. And welcome to my channel that I, every Tuesday and Friday, I love to get on and have these, do my live. This is a channel. Oh, do something here. Okay, here we go. This is a channel for faithists, brethren who are faithists, meaning, you know what it means? It means that these are, of all the people on the planet, on this planet, these are brethren who have been called out of the deception and the spiritual darkness that's in the world, and to start on their journey of making a resurrection, which everyone created ultimately will make the resurrection. Now, what does that mean? It means that they will walk in the light either here on the earth or after they cross over. Ultimately, all mankind are going to make the resurrection, meaning they're going to constantly grow, constantly ascend in their spirit, constantly rise in their spiritual grade. It's just a matter of whether you want to take the quick way or the long route, the long way. Faithists are people who are on the expressway. We're here, we're on the earth. It's the densest, darkest region that we will ever experience. But the Creator has done something to our heart, our spirit, our mind, where He has put a operating system in each of us that can identify the truth, that can identify the light, that alerts, it lets us know we are embedded with the knowledge of spiritual truth, with the ability to hear it, to seek the Creator. The Creator has put it in our heart to go against even the whole world, the earth, the darkness that we live in right now, meaning the spiritual ignorance, meaning the corruption, meaning the worship of the flesh, of the deities of religion. The Creator has somehow done something to each one of us to get us to focus on what is eternal, what is spiritual, and what is forever. He's just given us that type of spirit. I am a brother. I do not take that for granted. I don't take it for granted. I give thanks to the Creator that He let me get beat up in the world. He let me get beat up all my life to keep me from being proud, from thinking that I'm something, that I'm special, and it takes that for some spirits, and the Creator has done a good job on me, and it helps me to see how necessary it is to do battle with your own spirit, your own mind, your own self. That is primarily what the Creator is calling us to do battle with the self. That is how we make the resurrection and stay away from deity worship. Okay, now the announcements that I normally do, I'm going to get through them real quick. Got a lot to share. I'm never going to make it through everything I want to say, and so let me try to be fast. Now, here's the website for brethren. If you want, you can participate by supporting them. You can donate for the work that they do. They don't really publish they do, but they're not really out front about it. They trust the Creator for the efforts that they put forth, and so this is a good work for us as faithists to support if you can, through our prayers, through our works, through our finances, anything you want to choose. Universal Faith is a Cosman. Here's the website. There's a email address. Here are the ministries that we have. Now, this Wednesday, I don't think I'm going to be broadcasting. I think they're going to have this right here, the Healing Basket, every fourth Wednesday, the Healing Basket. So I do not broadcast that, the Healing Basket. So I don't think I'll be doing the Wednesday broadcasting of the Bible study. Then they have the Saturday meditation. And here's the Bible study right here. Every first, second, and third Wednesday, I broadcast the Bible study. And so here's the creed that I usually read. I'm going to put a little twist on this, though. What is a faithist? Faithist, we have faith in the all-person and collective wisdom that is without gender. As faithists, we live by and follow these guidelines inspired by the OAHSPE Bible and the work of the Creator. And the work of the Creator. I'm not even going to say John Newbro's name anymore after what I learned about him. I'm not going to even speak that man's name. I'm not going to even speak his name, man. So we are inspired by the OAHSPE Bible and the work of the Creator. The work of the Creator. Now, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it like that real quick. We understand that supremacy exists in only a weak and fearful mind. We strive to do good works in the Creator's name. We respect others' opinions with understanding and openness as long as their opinions do not diminish the dignity or free will of anyone. We are willing to accept differences from others with no bias. We treat others and ourselves with love and forgiveness. We are kind through our actions and whole being. We give others freedom we all deserve. It is easy to demand free will, but it is challenging to allow others to exercise their free will. We are able to admit our mistakes and take responsibility for our actions. With these guidelines in mind, it is easier to understand that the foundation of faithism is the study and pursuit of Amrath and Ahiva. Amrath is divine forgiveness. Ahiva is unconditional love. For faithists, the cultivation of Amrath and Ahiva are essential lessons on the path for soul growth. Many faithists adhere to a vegan diet to reduce suffering, but being vegan does not give anyone supremacy. All right, and in addition to that, brethren have a website where if you want, you're new to OAHSPE, you want to learn a little bit about it, go here, email these brethren, tell them you would like an OAHSPE, and they'll send you one for free. Now you can buy one on Amazon if you can. That would help, But there are a lot of brethren, little tight in the budget. These brethren will send it to you for free, okay? If you're just not getting into it, and you don't take advantage of these brethren, they'll send it to you for free, and then They'll also send you Radiance Anthology. That's another book, looks just like this, full of angel messages. Send you that for free too. Now, in addition to that, here's the 6-volume set. Unknown Many have put it together. 6-volume set, supplement to the OAHSPE. If you want, contact me. I'll send it to you for free. 6-volume set. I ask that you don't take advantage of me. You can get it on Amazon. It's priced as low as it'll go. And you contact me in the video comment section. I send it to you for free. And it'll be my pleasure. I think that one of the greatest blessings is to be able to share what the unknown many have done here to point to the OAHSPE is constructed in a way to where people with short attention spans is basically chapter and verse here. I could give you a little taste of it, of what the inside of it looks like. I'll do that right now. And while I'm doing that, I want to explain why I said why I read the Faithist Creed, why I did, excluding John Newbro. Now, here's the inside of the OAHSPE topical survey, just to give you an idea. That's what the inside of it looks like, the black and white pages. That's what the inside of the OAHSPE, that's how it's constructed, the topical survey. And you contact me, I'll send you the 6-volume set for free. I just ask you don't take advantage of me, okay? So you can read this if, while I'm scrolling. And okay, now, the reason why I read what I read, the Faithist Creed, the way I read it, excluding John Newbro's name, because I really have to give thanks for what I learned today. Okay, so that's the inside of the OAHSPE, the 6-volume set. Now, I want to go back. Okay, I learned a little bit about the person who's credited with publishing, with spreading, with publish, or what's the word for print, for popularizing the OAHSPE. Okay, this is the man right here. Even on the Faithist Creed that I read, this is the man right here, John Newbro. All right. Now, this brother here, he's a brother that he comes into the chat. He comes on the channel every now and then. He's got a Thursday ministry in the video comment section. He's got a Thursday ministry. He gets together 40 minutes with other Faithists. It's a Zoom call. They have a little fellowship. They pray for 40 minutes over in what they call intentions, and it's just things that other brethren submit and they pray about. Now, I'm very, very pleased, very blessed by what this brother here did, the work that he's done to help us Faithists, man. He really taught me a lesson. Now, earlier today, Spirit just simply led me to go to his site. I think this is the brother right here. Spirit just led me to go to his site and check it out. The brother's a linguist, man, okay? The brother is a linguist, all right? He lives in Japan. This is him right here, matter of fact. So, brother has all the fruits of 100% Faithist. That brother's got all the fruits, man. Very high grade, spiritual brother, very kind, very humble, very everything you can say about a brother who's high. He's a high grade brother. He's a linguist. And so I was led to his channel today. I was led to his channel, and the brother just really, he really blessed my soul. That's his channel right there. Now, he's in the video description box again, an email that you can contact him. It'll send you a link for his Thursday study. And it's every Thursday, I think at like 5 o'clock my time, p.m. And so every now and then he comes in. He's very active in the chat when he comes in. Now, his video, look, I was looking at the video about he's exposing John Newbro. John Newbro, highly credited with helping get the OAHSPE in the public eye. Now, one thing I have to really give thanks for with the Creator, and so far as us as faithists, I think the Creator, he really puts an operating system in us it's like a fraud detector. Now, I don't know if that's the right way to describe what I'm about to say here. Go to this brother's channel and look at the expose he does on John Newbro. Now, I don't, I know that we live in a nation, we live in a world where their deity worship not only applies to false God, it can apply to men. People are strange characters in the sense that they are easily led by the cult of men. Donald Trump is a good example of the ability, the power of men to deceive people, to connect with people, meaning to show them something on the surface for the purpose of their own agenda, and then to be something totally different when you look underneath the surface. That's the situation we're in right now with Donald Trump. And incidentally, this man here, Newbro, he's a Gemini. Donald Trump, he's a Gemini, and they exhibit the same characteristics. They exhibit the same characteristics. When you listen to the brother's work, brother Bob Bayer, I think that's his name, and the link. When you look at the work he has done, man, the brother's a linguist, man. That means that they have this. They can study like writings and see what's authentic and what's not, so far as the claims that the author of any particular work makes. A linguist, see, the Creator, man, he gives people gifts, and he did a deep dive and put information out there that a lot of us will probably never have heard about this man. So I find it interesting that the Creator, he really is able. I mean, he says the OAHSPE is imperfect. Now I can see a little bit why. It's an imperfect book, but the beautiful thing about it is we can get enough out of the OAHSPE, man, to keep us on. I mean, the truth is just uncorruptible. You just can't. And not anything. It's hard for the truth of the Creator to be polluted. It's hard. And even with the OAHSPE and the things that this man did to pollute the OAHSPE, the things that he put in, it's like it'll be hard for a faithist to even swallow it. I mean, he put like the Book of Jehovah's Kingdom or Book of Shalem, or he is not this linguist, the brother I just showed you, he studied it and said he wrote that. He did not channel it, or matter of fact, his claim of channeling the OAHSPE. One thing we know is that the OAHSPE was published, okay? But you look at the brother's videos, and he shows you that his claims of channeling it or whatever that story is, 10 years of, purifying himself, and even that's in doubt. But one thing I find interesting, speaking for myself, I didn't focus at all on this man when I first came into the OAHSPE. I didn't focus at all on him. He wasn't important, at all. He just wasn't. I was interested in the meat of the word, man. That's what captured my soul. You know, the Creator, He created faithfulness in this day and time that we're going to connect with the truth when we hear it. I've been deceived. I've been around the block. I've been through religion. I've been through Christianity. I've been through, I've been around the block, man. And none of them had a hold, could keep a hold on me. And it's the same way with other faithists. You just can't hold a faithist. You might get him for a little bit, but you can't hold him. You cannot hold a faithist, man. That's what I love the most, man. You know, you know, you cannot hold. I love that part, man. That's the part I really love. So even though I come to find out this man here, he polluted a lot of the OAHSPE. He, it turns out, just wait, just let him tell you the story. Go to the brother's channel right here, go to his channel, and go in the chat, man, and give thanks for the work he did. You know, I I don't solicit any feedback from brethren, but I count it as icing on the cake when I hear from brethren and they say that they were benefited somehow by the work I'm doing. That blesses my soul, but I don't seek after glory or acclaim or self seeking or acknowledgement or praise, or I don't solicit that, but I love brethren contacting or connecting with me or letting me know, brother, you may think that you ain't worth nothing, but you are. And you helping me what little kind of way you think you are, Any brother would appreciate that. Now, I said that to say this. If you go on this brother's channel, you know, say something nice to him, man, like thank you. Or, encourage him in his work. His Thursday study don't hardly draw anybody, That's the way it is with a lot of faithist communities. It's all right. That'll change. I'm not condemning her, but say something nice and encouraging to the brother and let him know that, because I know it's not easy to tell the truth, man. It is not easy to come out with something like this. You know, it is not easy, man, to stand on your very own, you know. So here's some of the work he's done. So subscribe and listen to the brother's channel. Support him if you can with words of kindness, faithful words. And I'm sure that the brother would really appreciate it. So I just thank the brother for lifting, for shedding that light on me about a man who could easily, and it turns out he had this complex where
Hello, dears.
he was like a narcissist. This man here, John Newbro, he's like a lot of men, man. They want attention, they want to be acknowledged, that's an amazing thing, man. You know, that's an amazing thing, man. But it's in the world. We got a president. He's a narcissist, man. He wants attention. He could care less about the country as a whole. We're in a situation where, brethren, I'm telling you, I don't have to tell you, you already know. You hear me, that's all I talk about is we are in a situation that's the equivalent of the fire has already been lit. Actually, we're in a situation where we are getting ready to go into a forest fire. Our nation we're headed for a cataclysm. geopolitically, economically speaking, the oil and the gas. I've been looking, I've been researching, I've been listening to the analysts. Don't you know that we keep what's called a strategic petroleum reserve, SPR, right? America, right? If I try to go in, I don't want to confuse you, but since the start of the Gulf War, the Strait of Hormuz, I mean, over in the Middle East, and the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, which is the primary route for 20% of the world's petroleum, the world's oil, with the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, and now the shutdown of the Red Sea, the other port that we use to get our oil and gas, now that's shut down. Now
Seekers of light.
that is shut down. The Red Sea. We are now facing a situation where that percentage of the oil that used to come out of the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz, we are facing a situation where the things that we counted on for daily living, we are now, and since this war has been going on since February, we have been going without the normal supply of oil and gas that fuels our economy and the world's economy. And things were already tight even before the conflict in the Middle East. Things were already tight for people. Now, when you add the current crisis, then you get a good idea of how much more difficult things are going to be in the coming. Matter of fact, which really may really start this month, August. Now, the reason why I say that is because when the shutdown came and the nations of the world said, okay, we're going to have to dip into our reserves, which comes out to a total of like 400 million something barrels. Ever since February, they've been dipping into that. Now, in the United States, they had a reserve of like 300 million barrels of oil that they have been drawing down from. And when they get to a certain level, because of the construction of the salt caverns where oil is stored, they cannot efficiently pump oil anymore. That means that the 300 or so million gallons barrels of oil that we usually keep in reserve, the president in March said he was going to begin to release 172 million barrels in March because of the effects of the Gulf War. Okay. So if you look at it as a bank account, you will certainly catch my drift of what I'm talking about here. Now, to make a long story short, we only have so many, we have to leave out of the 300 million barrels of oil, we have to leave a certain amount in there for the military. I think it's like 240. Now, I'm terrible at math, so my math might not check out. I hope it does. We have to leave a certain amount in the strategic petroleum reserve for the military. Okay. Now, the president authorized a release of 172 million barrels in March that we have been drawing down from. Now, to make a long story short, our allocation of oil and gas for America before we run out of what was allocated in March, do you know we have 65 million barrels left to draw from that was authorized in March to release from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? We only have 65 million barrels of oil left, and we are drawing at least 3 million barrels a week. Now, you can do the math from there on out, okay? You can do the math. Now, sometimes it gets as high as 8 million or 9 million barrels released a week. The last couple of weeks, we have been drawing 3 million gallons, 3 million barrels of oil. Now, if we have 65 million barrels of oil left for authorized to be released before we reach a level that is set aside for the military, what does that bring us to? If we started from March, or we started from July, we have 65 million barrels of oil left authorized for release before we reach, we have no more, because the rest of that is allocated to the military. What does that bring you to? Like 2 months at the most, right? Drawing 3 million barrels a week. What does that bring us to at the most? It gives us till like September, October at the very most. And right now, the president is got his head in the sand. He does not want to deal with it. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. Okay. It's kind of like you got a person, they got a problem, and you don't want to deal with it until the last minute, the very last minute. That's the situation we're in right now. He's just going to let it hit this country because the conflagration is still going on right now. Now, I don't say this to fearmonger brethren. I don't think that. I think for faithists, I think we are going to learn a lesson about what happens when when the Creator, when we don't, when we don't, you know what I mean? When we don't, we don't want to acknowledge the Creator. We don't want to live by the principles that the Creator, we want to go our own way. All I'm sharing this information for is I seem to believe the Creator is going to show us, help us to see when men do not want to acknowledge, want to go their own way, want to do their own thing, and the Creator lets you. I think we're getting ready to witness what can happen. I think it will go down in our spirit, just like the sinking of Pan, man. What effect do you think it had on them brethren who witnessed that, who lived through it, that got in those ships? That'll never leave your psyche, man. Something like that. I think the same thing the Creator is going to teach us when a nation, a world, when they subscribe to false gods and deities, when they have no more foundation for truth. I'm not fear mongering, man. I'm telling the truth. That's why I really appreciate that brother, man. Some brethren may revere John Newbro. As for that brother to come out, he's a linguist, man. He's got a degree in it. The Creator raised him up to help us to see things. That brother went back. He had some type of software where he could go back in time and read newspaper accounts. He could read firsthand accounts about John Newbrough, about how he left his wife and his young children for a mistress, about how he killed a man, about children who died at Shalem, about how Newbrough ripped them off, and yet the Creator let him play a part in the exposing the OAHSPE to the world. Even though he was very low grade, had a very low grade, and the Creator allowed him to play whatever part he played in the OAHSPE coming to light. And the brother, he made a statement that I loved, talking about Brother Bayer on the video, and he was right. He said the OAHSPE, it should have exploded, except for the pollution that John Newbrough tried to include in it. It turned a lot of people off. It turned a lot of people off, man. You know, it turned a lot of people. This word, that's, I used to always wonder, how come Shalem didn't work? How come the OAHSPE is, for the most part, it's invisible? How can that be? And that brother cleared a lot of it up for me. He cleared a lot of it up for me. I'm real late. The name of the study is Hold That Light, man. Hold that light. Hold that light, man. Hold the light. You hold it. Hold it, man. We in a world of darkness. It's a world of darkness, man. There are deity worshipers here. There are people who are narcissists. They ruling over us. America is just like the OAHSPE say. Corrupt leaders in government, rogues. Remember? We are surrounded, faithists are surrounded by darkness, corruption. Corruption, darkness covers a lot of things, man, especially America. People are getting upset. There's a spirit afoot where, like the No Kings rallies, people are waking up, man, to the fraud of religion and their deities and the human leaders. There is an awakening. The OAHSPE should have exploded by now, and now I think I understand why it has not. It has not. It should have exploded, man. But Newbrough, he turned a lot of people off by the things he did that were exposed, things he said. He was a Freemason. He had a narcissistic complex, and yet the Creator, he allowed him to be used to bring it to light. I like what Brother Gabriel told me earlier today. He said, right now, you can count that he's making amends in the spiritual. He's making amends. So he's correcting the things that he did that hindered I don't know. I don't think you can. It's just a matter of time for the Creator. If your inner light, if it's dark, like it says in the Bible, how great is that darkness? It's just a matter of time, man, before the Creator is going to rework that. He's going to correct that. Title of the video is Hold That Light. Now, I did a study on it, but I'm going to start out with the parable of the talents, the 10 virgins. And I'm going to focus on holding that light, man, and the emphasis that even the Bible placed on it. The Creator, he used the Bible to be like supplement to the OAHSPE. A lot of the things that he wrote in the Bible, it turns out it's a supplement to the OAHSPE. It's a supplement. You get much more out of reading the Bible now than you did when you read it without the OAHSPE. The Creator, he It's beautiful the way he's using the Bible now. It's a supplement. It helps you to understand more about spiritual realities. Here we have the parable of the talents. The parable of the talents is found in Matthew 25:14. It is the second of these major parables that Jesus tells in the Olivet Discourse about readiness for his return, following the 10 virgins and preceding the sheep and the goats. Okay. Now, let me see. I think this is not according to, let me see. I did this study here, and I didn't use the OAHSPE to translate it. Oh, no, I did, because it gets into it. So let's go back. Now, here's the parable of the 10 virgins, all right? Matthew 25. Now, in the parable, we have a man traveling into a far country, and he calls his servants, and he delivers unto him his goods. Wait a minute. Oh, this is a parable, not of the virgins, of the talents. I'm sorry. The talents. Okay. And it's really the story of Faithus. Really, everybody has a talent, you know. Everybody has talents. 1 second. I'll be right back. I want to get a block of ice here. It's 100 degrees in Arizona. Okay. So we have a man traveling into a far country, and he calls the servants and delivers unto them his goods. To one, he gives 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1. So Brother Bear, he was given a talent of being a linguist. A linguist, man. So the talents are given, each according to his own ability. Then he takes his journey. Okay. The servant with 5 talents trades and gains 5 more. The servant with 2 talents gains 2 more. The servant with 1 talent, he digs in the earth and hides his Lord's money. Very interesting. You know, I was sharing about how I was speaking with my brother, my family brother, and we were talking about our cousin. And my brother was sharing with me about all the talents he has, you know, very charismatic, good looking, big man, you know. And he makes bad choices in his 50s, and he still is relying on other people to live, counts on people giving to him, takes his talents and digs them in the earth. He's a very good speaker, very convincing, very magnetic, but takes his talent, he digs it in the earth, and he hides his Lord's money. Then it says, after a long time, the Lord returns and settles accounts. Now, again, this is the Bible version. I haven't gotten into the OAHSPE translation. It says, the first 2 servants are praised. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. The third servant makes excuses, saying he knew the master was a hard man, and returns a single talent. The master condemns him as a wicked and slothful servant and takes the talent from him, and he gives it to the one who has 10 and orders the unprofitable servant cast into outer darkness. Okay. Now, I'm going to jump down to the OAHSPE translation. And so here's a chart that gives you the Christian perspective. I'm not going to go into it. You can read it if you want. The talent, gifts and abilities, opportunities, resources, or the gospel itself. Okay. This is the King James Christian interpretation. Okay. Now, I'm going to go down to the OAHSPE interpretation. Okay, according to OAHSPE, there is no direct retelling or commentary on the biblical parable of the talents. However, OAHSPE contains clear parallel teachings on stewardship, accountability, and using what one has been given. Core OAHSPE teaching, Book of Judgment, and related sections. OAHSPE teaches that every person is judged and graded according to what they do with the capacity, opportunities, and light they have received. The key measure is service to others versus service to self. That's the whole point right there. Key principles that parallel the parable. Judgment is according to capacity and works. A person is not judged by the size of their gifts, but whether they used what they had for good. In the OAHSPE, it says, thy resurrection dependeth not on the quantity thou givest, but as to whether thou givest according to what thou hast. Book of Judgment. Grade is determined by the balance of service. If you serve only yourself, grade 1. In the spiritual, you cross over, you go to the spiritual, you find that you serve yourself and you're surrounded by others who serve themselves also. Every man for himself. Serving self and others equally, grade 50. You go to a spiritual, you land in the spiritual where the people are more benevolent, serving themselves and others. And, you can imagine in your mind, it's like you go to grade 1. If I can try to put a picture on it, you go to grade 1. You're in a reality where people are like you. I just can't emphasize that enough. I believe it. I think it's a spiritual truth. It sounds right. It sounds fair. It sounds like the Creator. We live in a reality where people, they want more than what they have. How do you describe it? People want more than what they put out. They want more, you know what I mean? That's the world we live in. They want more than what they are. What's a good word for? They want more than what they are. What they should have, And so that's a realm, that's a place in the heavens. People who are grade 1, people who are grade 50, and people who are grade 70, grade 75 or higher. That's where people really want to go. The world really wants to go here, right here, where it's like going to a 10-star hotel, where you are served day and night, man. People waiting to clip your toenails, just waiting. Give the word, man, But see, the flip side is you're going to be waiting to clip others' toenails eagerly too. I mean, I could have used better example, people who are served and who are being served, that's grade 99. You know, grade 75 is 3/4 of the time people are serving you, and 1/4 of the time serving themselves. It should be fair, man. Really, nobody should. You get out of it what you put into it, man, to be vulgar. When it comes to the OAHSPE, no man should argue with that, man. No man should argue with that. People, but they want more than they deserve, though. We live in, that's what capitalism is. Profiting off of as little investment as you can. That's what capitalism is. That's why it's not a it's not a creator kingdom concept, because it profits and benefits off of extracting the most out of people for as little as necessary and benefiting the most while while expending as little as you can. Those who bury their talents in self-interest, they remain low in grade and bound closer to the earth after death. Those who actively use their abilities to lift others rise higher. Now, I was talking with Brother Gabriel earlier today, and he said something that it kind of it confused me. I mean, I understand it, but it confused me. He was telling me how for 7 generations, DNA lasts for like 7 generations before it's undistinguishable in a species anymore. I thought, man, that was pretty daggone profound, you know. That is one smart brother, man. We got smart faithists in the kingdom. They kind of scare me, you know. He said it takes 7 generations for DNA to the life and death of, well, not death, but the lifetime, the lifetime of DNA in a species, from what I understand, is 7 generations, he said. So he was telling me how parents, they will spend 7 generations after they cross over. They will spend 7 generations, even faithists in atmospheria, meaning close to the earth because of their loved ones. How do you like that? I have to think that they go to a different realm in atmospheria if they're faithists. I certainly I certainly know they don't go to the more hellish regions. They don't do that. Not a faithist, man, you know. But the mystery is that they stay close to the earth because of their loved ones, their children. While brethren who do not have children, they resurrect faster, from what I understand. It's a great mystery. Those who bury their talents in self interest may remain low in grade and bound closer to the earth after death. Those who actively use their abilities to lift others rise higher. No one can transfer or borrow another's grade. That's kind of equivalent to Jesus Christ. People want to transfer his grade. Now, I don't believe that Jesus Christ of the New Testament existed. I believe he was a construct of Joshua or Zarathustra. Some brothers were saying there were two Jesus Christs in the New Testament. So whoever I'm talking about here that was pictured as Jesus Christ, Christianity says, yeah, you can borrow his grade. You can attribute his grade to yourself. Isn't that what it's all about? Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved. OAHSPE says, nope, you can't do that. And it makes sense if you apply it to the world we live in. Can I borrow your paycheck, brother? you know, hey, brother, you know, hey, I'm a little short, man. Is it possible? It's the same in the spirit. It's the same in the spirit. Hey, brother, can I borrow your grade? Faith is, hey, you're 80, you're 80%, you're 80 grade. I'm down here grade 20, brother. Can I borrow? The creator said, no, you can't do that, man. In the parable of the 10 virgins, just as the wise could not share their oil, and the faithful servants could not give their gains to the unfaithful one. OAHSPE emphasizes that each soul stands on its own works and development. You cannot be carried in the higher realms on someone else's labor. The world don't want to hear that. That would not be popular. They want somebody else to do. That's why church is so popular. The pastor, he's standing up there, and people, they internalize it like, all I have to do is just put in my 45 minutes each week and I'm good to go. I'm going to sit here in this pew. I'm going to fall asleep. But see, the angels have to make a note that I put my time in for this Sunday. Now, I'm being facetious. I shouldn't disparage churchgoers like that. But that is a common attitude in the world today. That's a very common attitude. You feel like you're putting your time in, and then you ask somebody, well, what did you learn when you listen to the sermon? Tell me what the lesson was. They don't know, you know, or it's something that it's a catch-all answer. You know, I learned, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And there was a time where I used to ask people that, what did you learn? I always ask, like, when someone says, they went to church, or not always, but when I was an Israelite, and then I would say, like, well, what did you learn? And they would say, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And I would say, so you had to learn that? You mean you had to be taught that? You know what I mean? And I'm trying to expose that you don't take it seriously, man. You know, you don't take your spirituality seriously. You've fallen into a slumber. You've fallen into routine, man, where you just think that all that's necessary is that I show up, and then that's all that's required. That's why the world is in for a shock. The world is in for a spiritual shock when you learn the personal responsibility part of the OAHSPE. It's up to you, man. It's up to you. We would, if you were running from a bear, will you sit and wait for somebody to with a gun, to come by and shoot the bear while he's charging you and getting closer? Or are you going to run? you know? You know what I mean? It's the same way spiritually, man. The resurrection require you to move, motion. Remember the four entities: life, motion. I forget the other two. Why do people? Why do people? Why do they? What's a good word for disrespect? Or should I say disrespect? Why do people? I can't find a word for treat the creator. They don't take him seriously. I'm not talking about faithists. Inaction and self-protection are condemned. That's a lot. I found that's a lot of what Christianity is. It's really fire insurance. Fire insurance. And they don't like the OAHSPE. They don't like the part of the OAHSPE where it talks about being proactive with your own situation. Oh, Christianity, it affords you a comfort zone that's hard to break, man. It's hard to break. Inaction and self-protection are very dear to people. The servant who hid the talent out of fear is mirrored in OAHSPE's warnings against those who live only for self-preservation, comfort, or personal salvation while neglecting the suffering and ignorance around them. Such souls remain in the lower heavens, even as druges. Those are unenlightened, unresurrected spirits until they begin to labor for others. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? The whole reality, the whole picture, the whole thing about spirituality, period, is the overcoming of the self and serving my brother, serving my brother, you know, the overcoming of my own desires and passions and wishes and vainglory, to wash yourself of that, and then to put on an attitude of wanting to do what is good and right by your brother. Want to do what's good and right by your brother, man. You know, reward is greater responsibility and higher light. And you think of it, man. You know, suppose you do something that really benefits a lot. You know, I will say this. The other day, I did a video on the brother who was cooking for homeless people. Now, in principle, that's a great work, man. That's very commendable. The only problem is it's anti-OAHSPEan. The OAHSPE condemns that type of charity. And the OAHSPE, it makes more sense. If you keep, if that type of charity does not solve the problem. Now, if you want to solve the problem, man, people have to take responsibility. Now, not to say that there are brethren who are not, who are, or they don't deserve charity. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I got a link in my description area. If a brother or sister is listening to me and you need charity, you can contact me. Just send me an email. Let me know what the charity is, and we can keep it just between ourselves. Except for when I have to cry out to brethren that we have a need in our community, and I will keep you incognito, but I will certainly do the work using my little inconsequential channel here. I will do it if you're in need of charity, man, you know, reward. And if you, now think of it, man, if you were able to benefit a lot of people, in that sense, reward is a higher blessing. The admiration of the people that you have helped. Not saying that that's the sole initiative thing that, you know, not to say that that should be the sole purpose why you would, you know, serve somebody. The Creator says reward is greater responsibility. He gives you greater responsibility when you use your talents to the best of your ability, your highest light. And He gives you higher light. Reward, He gives you more responsibility if you're found to take your talents and share it. Then He also grants you higher understanding, higher light. Faithful service leads to higher grade, greater freedom, and the ability to labor in higher kingdoms. This echoes the Master's words, "Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I will make thee ruler over many things." I think that's a pretty good OAHSPE principle. So the summary of OAHSPE, in OAHSPE terms, the talents are the light, talents, opportunities, and capacity Jehovah has given to each person. The Master, Jehovah God, expects every individual to put those gifts. Getting a lot of text messages here. Let's see. In OAHSPE terms, the talents are the light, talents, opportunities, and capacity Jehovah has given each person. The Master, Jehovah, God, expects every individual to put those gifts into active service for the resurrection and upliftment of others. Hiding them in self-interest, fear, or inactivity keeps the soul in low grade. Using them faithfully raises the grade and opens the way to higher heavens. And then we get the parable of the 10 virgins. The 10 virgins. And so I'm just going to give what the symbols mean, and then I want to go into the I'm going to go into the pick up with the Gospel of Thomas translations. I'm going to pick up with the Gospel of Thomas translations. Okay, the 10 virgins, the symbols that are in the parable of the 10 virgins. I'm just going to look at that and then go into the study. I'm going to pick up with the Gospel of Thomas. The symbols of the 10 virgins in the Bible, the symbols, the lamps that all the virgins carried. Remember, there were 5 foolish, 5 wise. They were waiting for the bridegroom. The call went out. They trimmed their lamps. The lamps mean outward profession, claim of faith. The meaning in OAHSPE is anyone can appear righteous. Remember, it said that their oil was getting low. They asked the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps have gone out. Their lamps went out. Their outward profession, their appearance of righteousness was gone. Even the appearance of righteousness was gone. And now the oil and gas in the world was getting low. And since oil and gas, most things are a byproduct of oil and gas, and supplies and resources began to get low, then people forget their faith because the flesh is starting to scream now. It's starting to scream now. And at a time when their faith should carry them and it doesn't, then they want to know where God is because their foundation, their oil is run out. Oil is the inner light, the grade, the accumulated good works. The meaning in OAHSPE is genuine spiritual development that cannot be borrowed. It's organic part of you. Those of higher grade who serve others, the wise virgins, those of higher grade who serve others. The meaning in OAHSPE is they have held their light. There it is. Hold your light, man. Hold that light, man, through the vicissitudes of life, man. That's our calling card for a faithless man. Hold that light, man. When it's dark, when there's opposition, when there's resistance, when there's the opportunity for great riches, hold the light, man. Hold it. Hold it, man. That's why you faithists are a marvel. You're a miracle to me, man. Especially you long-term faithists. You've been in this thing for a while, going against all that opposition of the world, the society, the low-grade spiritual world that we in, and you held that light, man. Whoo! Hold the light, man. Hold the right ways of the Creator. Hold it, you know. Hold it, man. You know. The Creator saying, hold it, you know. Hold that light. New wine is not put into old wineskins. The foolish virgins, those of low grade who serve mainly yourself. You serve mainly yourself, man. The meaning in OAHSPE is they have the appearance, but you lack the inner substance. You lack the inner substance, man. When that T-bone well done steak is put before you, when nobody's looking, you take a couple of chomps out of it, You lack in inner substance, man. Inner substance, man. Character, you know. Foolish virgins, they have appearance, but they lack inner substance. The bridegroom's delayed. That's the long period of mortal life and the lower heavens. And the meaning of the OAHSPE is time given to develop your grade. Time given to our life is time given to develop our grade. That's the mercy, that's the benefit of the earth. The Creator says that the earth can be greatly taken advantage of. It can be greatly taken advantage of. When the bridegroom got up and he brought the remember the wise virgins were ready and they went in with the bridegroom. Remember the wise virgins, the foolish virgins came to the wise virgins and said, "Give us of your oil, for ours have run out." And the wise virgins said, "Go to those that buy and sell." And it says that while the foolish virgins left, the bridegroom came and the door was shut. And then the foolish virgins came and the bridegroom says, "I know you not. I know you not, man." The Creator would never say that, The Creator would never say that to anybody. The Creator, he don't say that. He don't never shut the door and he never say, "I know you not." The Creator, he don't do that. It refers to the inability to rise to higher heavens temporarily. Temporarily. Most people, they are unable to rise to the higher heavens temporarily. Temporarily, I say, temporarily. Low grade spirit, the meaning in OAHSPE is low grade spirits remain bound in the lower realms until they change. Key OAHSPE principles that match the parable. The light cannot be transferred. There it is again. It should make sense. You know what I mean? You can make all kind of analogies about that. Something precious and dear that cannot just be given to another, even if you wanted to. Just as the wise virgins could not share their oil, OAHSPE teaches that one soul cannot give its grade or development to another. Each person must raise their own grade through their own works. Outward form is not enough. Many may claim faith, perform rituals, or carry lamps, outward profession. But without the inner reality of service to others in purity, they remain low grade. Preparedness is continuous. In the OAHSPE, preparedness is continuous. OAHSPE emphasized holding the light. There it is again, man. Hold it daily. Hold the light, man. Hold the light. Hold it, man. Hold it. Hold it. Hold the light, man. Hold the knowledge of the OAHSPE. Staying pure, truthful, gentle, and actively doing good rather than a last minute effort, Like when you see they make an announcement, we have 2 days left of oil and gas. We will now begin to ration, or all of a sudden gas goes up to $15 a gallon, you know what I mean? And on a side note, if you really want to know the nearness of the if you really want to know the nearness of this um if you really want to know the nearness of the seriousness, I think I'll use um, the criticalness of the time that we are approaching. Look at diesel prices. Look at diesel prices, man. You know, because crude oil, diesel is refined from crude oil. That's what's actually shipped to the nations. A lot of nations, America, America needs crude oil. It's thicker, sludgier type of oil where diesel is refined from that. And so you get diesels that run machinery. And now you get into a whole nother world. You see what I mean? You can get into a whole lot of analogy now. You got every factory running diesel, every car, you got cars running, you got trucks running diesel, you got diesel everywhere. You know what I mean? Diesels that make plastics, diesels that farm machinery, so you got the crude oil and then you got the products that come from it, diesel, gas, and the byproducts, which really is where the pain comes from. The byproducts from oil and diesel, and that's where the prices go through the roof. Retail, when crude oil gets down to retail, that's where economies really take it in the shorts, man. That's consumer level. That's grocery store level. You know what I mean? That's retail level. You go to this store or that. Yesterday, it was $5. The next day, it's $30. Don't wait until then, man, to start holding the light. Don't wait until then. Preparedness is continuous. OAHSPE emphasizes holding the light daily, staying pure in word, thought, and deed, truthful, gentle, actively doing good rather than a last minute effort. Last minute. Judgment reveals your true condition. At death and in the heavens, the real grade becomes apparent. Those who only remained an outward show cannot enter the higher second or third resurrection. Second and third resurrection. See, that's a community of people. That's a community people where in the spiritual, you got the first grade, meaning lower grades. They go to the lower heavens. They go to lower heavens, or you go to um, the lower heavens, or you go from above the lower heavens is the church. Let's say you're part of a church, and you go to the church heavens and work with your like-minded brethren there. And then the resurrection is where you have the faithless in a community of people. And then above that, you have the nations. And then above that, you have the world. And each resurrection, you are higher in power. Matter of fact, I got the chart. Thank you, Jehovah, for reminding me. I got the chart right here. I forgot all about it. Here's the chart. In the OAHSPE, here's the chart. It's called Spirit Burst. Called Spirit Burst. See, check it out. Here is our reality. I hope you can see my cursor. If you can see this is in the OAHSPE. It's in Book of Knowledge, chapter 5, is it? And it shows you our reality. Here are the grades on the left side, on the bottom. And the power the upper heavens have over them on the right. See? Here's a 1-year-old. The upper heavens have a power of 21 to 1. So let's say a 1-year-old can lift 10 pounds. A spirit being can lift, the upper heavens can lift 2,000 pounds compared to a 1-year-old lifting 10 pounds. You know what I mean? That's what these numbers mean. If you're 25 years old, then the upper beings, their power over someone who's 25 and up is 13 to 1. And then for 35 is 7 to 1. And then someone over 50, 3 to 1. And then someone 70 for every one person. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not saying it right. Let's see. For someone who's 70 years old, now doggone it, I ain't saying this right. This chart here. Wait a minute, my screen is flipping out on me. Hold on a second. Okay. See the chart here? The top half is easier to understand. It's basically showing you what I was talking about earlier. There's isolation, the lower heavens. Then there's the churches who are also, they're above the realm of isolation, but they are still in the lower heavens, the churches. And then above them are the faithists. Those are communities. That's making a resurrection right there. And then above the communities are nations. And then above the nations is the world, the globe. And their power increases if you look to the right here. The first resurrection, their power is 1 to 1. Second resurrection, churches, their power is 3 to 1. Communities, their power is 7 to 1. Nations, 13 to 1. All mortals, 21 to 1. And then above that, you had the Ethereans. So spiritual is a picture of the lower part, their spiritual power, and then in the spirit realm, the progression of the individuals and the communities, the faithists in the spiritual realm. So that chart is it's a good picture. Grades, that which is now. Okay, so let me get back because I'm late for no, actually, I'm not really late. I'm talking about the hold that light, but I'm going to go into the Gospel of Thomas and do some more translations. Judgment reveals the true condition. At death and in the heavens, the real grade becomes apparent. Those who only maintained an outward show cannot enter the higher second and third resurrection. See? The wise are those who have filled their vessels with the light of Jehovah by consistently serving others and abnegating self. The foolish are those who carried the lamp of profession but never accumulated the oil of real spiritual grade. When the time of transition, death, comes, only those who have truly held the light. Hold the light, man. Hold it. Truly held the light can rise. OAHSPE's consistent message, be ready by living ready. Live ready, man. Through daily good works, purity, and service, because the grade you have built cannot be borrowed or quickly acquired at the last moment. Can't be taken from you, man. It cannot be taken from you. How beautiful is that? You know, you look at the world as a really amazing contradiction in terms, man. I look at movies sometimes of the effort that people put in, man, for a short-term gain. You know what I mean? I like financial drama movies like Margin Call, you know, Wall Street, you know, Too Big to Fail, that movie. Did y'all ever see that? Too Big to Fail? What's that other one? The Big Short. I like those type of movies, man. The Big Short, because they're based on reality, number one. Margin Call is not, but you can see how that is a picture of the lengths that people go through, man, for the earth. The lengths that people go through for the earth, man. You know, the lengths that people will go through for the earth. For 30 or 40 years, people sell out for the earth, man. They sell out. You know, people sell out for the earth, man. They sell out. And then, all of us are at a point, we know in our heart, man. You brothers, in our heart that eternity is forever. And that's a very unpopular message. That's very unpopular, man. And we all sitting here and nobody can deny it. That's why a true faithist, man, he'll never forsake. He will hold that light, man. He will hold that light. He will hold it because there ain't nowhere else to go. We've experienced the pleasures of the earth. You know, we've experienced the highest the earth can do for the body. And it's a shame in the world. It's drinking. It's drugs. It's sex. It's money. It's beast worship of the self. It's a terrible crying shame, man. It's a crying shame, man. I love what that brother said in this video, Brother Bear. He said the OAHSPE, it should have exploded by now. It should have exploded. And the very person who is credited with exposing it to the world was busy trying to get himself to be worshiped. He was busy. John Blue Newbro. I got another post, a message here. Oh, they bombing Iran again. It started back up again. Brother. They fighting as we speak. They started it back up again. For the last couple of days, it was supposed to have been the United States said they were going to pause, really because they're running out of ammunition. So for 2 days, Iran, they said, okay, if you stop, we'll stop. And now it's just started again, right now, brethren. That means that the no solution for the oil and gas is going to continue staying closed. And the day is coming, getting closer and closer. It seemed like an explosion there's an explosion. Brethren, I'm positive there's an explosion coming to this world, especially in America. The midterms are less than 100 days away. The midterms. President has made it all but clear that he's going to interfere with the elections. People ain't going to like it. It's going to be at a time where the conflict will probably still be going on. The oil and gas will still be, it still will be, won't be getting shipped. It still won't be going out. The situation at that time will be absolutely perfect for a uprising because of the economic conditions of the people. It seems like there's a perfect storm on the horizon. A perfect storm. And I wonder if the Creator is going to use that time to expose the faithists, to bring the light. We're going to find out, ain't we? The Gospel of Thomas according to the OAHSPE. And I left off, I think, at Gospel number 27. So let me pick up there. The Gospel of Thomas according to the OAHSPE. I think I left it Gospel of Thomas number 27. So, and there's like 114 sayings, so I'm not going to get finished with this. But it's an absolutely fascinating study, man. It is a absolutely fascinating study. The gospel, the translate. I'm gonna translate all the spiritual books using the OAHSPE. I'm gonna go into all of them, man. The Emerald Tablets, the Bhagavad Gita, Pistis Sophia, the Keys of Enoch, you know, the Quran. Oh man, this is gonna be a beautiful journey, man. A beautiful journey. Glorifying the light, man. Gospel of Thomas, number 27. Jesus said, if you do not fast as regards to the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath, you will not see the Father. The OAHSPE parallel, what does it mean? It says that detachment from the world and sacred rhythm both key in OAHSPE. Detachment from the world and sacred rhythm are both key in OAHSPE. When it says, if you do not fast as regards to the world, it means OAHSPE teaches that one must fast. Let me see. Can I make this bigger? Let me see. I want to bear with me, brethren. Let me see if I can make this like way bigger. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, will this work? No, you got to go down one more level. Okay, I think this will work. Okay. Oh, shoot. Where was that? Saying number 27. Okay, wait a minute. I think it will work if I make it like super big. Let's see. Okay. All right. I hope you can see that okay on the if you're looking at the video. I'm trying to make the words bigger so we can all read it. All right. It says, Jesus said, if you do not fast as regards to the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath, you will not see the Father. The OAHSPE parallel. The saying emphasizes detachment from the world and sacred rhythm, both key and OAHSPE. If you do not fast as regards to the world, that means it teaches that one must fast from materialism, selfishness, animal food, strong advocacy for herbivorous diet, and the lower pulls of corporate. Without this detachment, the soul remains bound and cannot enter the higher light of the kingdom. Now, I'd like to see what Christianity would say about this as regards to the world. Y'all want to see what Christianity would say about this? Let me do a quick study on it. Let's look at it together. Let's see what Christianity would say about the Gospel of Thomas. Let's see. What does Christianity say about this verse? How does Christianity interpret this verse? Okay. It says the Gospel of Thomas is non-canonical. Okay, meaning not in the Bible. Let me get to what it says. It says, most interpreters understand two halves as parallel statements pointing to the same spiritual reality. Okay, so they say when it says fast from the world, this is not ordinary abstention from foods. It means withdrawing from or renouncing attachment to world. Okay, so they got it good. I kind of figured they would get that. But let me see what they say about the Sabbath if they get this. This is not a call to keep the seventh-day Jewish Sabbath in a literal sense. It is understood as true spiritual rest. Resting from worldly business, sin, or attachment. See? So, okay, here's where they differ. Interesting. They say the Sabbath is about resting from putting aside worldly business, basically, right? Now, let's see what the OAHSPE says. It says the Sabbath, when it says the part about the Sabbath, it says in OAHSPE, the true Sabbath is not rigid weekly ritual, but a living. Oh, wait a minute, they got it. Okay, so they got it. Good, good. Okay, I gotta give it to the Christians then. They got it. Because they both point to a time of departure from the world. Okay, so they got it. They did good. They got it. Okay. All right. Congrats. Congrats, Christianity. Oh, shoot. It's recording my words. It was recording my words. Okay, so they got it. They did a good job. It said together, the Gospel of Thomas, saying 27, points to discipline, balanced life with a faith that's withdrawing from worldly excess while maintaining regular, heartfelt communion with Jehovah. Only then does the kingdom come visible and the Father known directly. Saying number 29, Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of the spirit, it is a wonder. But if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Indeed, I am amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty. All right, the OAHSPE parallel. Okay, the OAHSPE parallel. This saying captures the profound mystery of incarnation and the dual nature of man, a core teaching in OAHSPE. If the flesh came into being because of the spirit, this is OAHSPE's view. The corporeal body exists to serve the spirit's growth. The spirit is primary. The body is this temporary vehicle for learning. But if the spirit came into being because of the body, this would be the materialist view. My body is meant to serve me, my flesh. This would be a materialist view. Spirit as a byproduct of flesh, meaning you take your spirit and you just treat, oh, shoot, I'm not sharing the screen. There we go. I'm sorry. I wasn't sharing the screen. It says that, but if the spirit came into being because of the body, this would be the materialist view. Spirit is a byproduct of flesh, which OAHSPE calls that would be a wonder of wonders and its backwardness. Almost unbelievable given the evidence of the unseen worlds. Now, I'm dying to see what Christianity would say about that. I'm dying, but I want to keep it moving. And then he says, I'm amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty. The great wealth is the eternal spirit quickened by Jehovah. The poverty is the limited, perishable, corporal body and the lower conditions of the world. Jesus, as a highlight being, expresses astonishment that the divine spark dwells in such humble, challenging surroundings. It's almost like you're a billionaire, but you go and live on the Tenderloin in San Francisco. It's a place that I always use as an example of a human being can't get no lower than that, man, in his living conditions. The Tenderloin. Google it. And Gospel Thomas is saying it's amazing that you would be so rich, but you would live in that condition. In OAHSPE, this amazement is shared by Ethereal hosts who behold mortals. How does the mighty spirit consent to incarnate in such restriction? Yet this is the divine plan for growth. The soul learns through the poverty of the flesh and rises richer into the heavens. We learn through the poverty of the flesh and we rise richer into the heavens. So it sounds almost like when the comparison, when we realize the comparison, the glories of the heavens as compared to where we are now, it's a wonder of wonders, man, that the spirit made his home in the flesh at one point. This saying celebrates the miracle, they're saying it right here, the miracle of embodiment, while urging us not to forget the superior wealth of the spirit. Jesus said, where there are three gods, there are gods. Where there are two or one, I am with him. All right. What does that mean according to the OAHSPE? This saying touches the nature of divinity themes OAHSPE addresses directly. Where there are three gods, they are gods. OAHSPE acknowledges that in the lower heavens and among mortals, there can be multiple gods, rulers, false gods, or high angels in office. When several advanced beings work together, they function as divine administrators. However, these are appointed offices under Jehovah, not independent deities. Where there are two or one, I am with him. This is the heart of OAHSPE. Jehovah or Christ, the highlight, is present with even the smallest group of our solitary soul who seeks in truth. There is no need for large organizations or intermediaries. The all person is with the individual or the faithful pair who align with light. Oneness with Jehovah matters more than numbers. OAHSPE rejects multiplicity of gods in the ultimate sense. All true power flows from the one. The saying encourages the solitary worker or small group. That saying encourages us. Creator is with us. You do not need crowds or hierarchies. The divine presence is with the sincere heart, whether one or two. This is pure faithism, direct personal connection to Jehovah, no matter how small the gathering. See? Isn't that comforting? Jesus said, no prophet is except, oh, I know this one well, man. You brothers should know it too. No prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who knows him. That means your family ain't gonna listen to you. That means that the last person to listen to your witness is your family. That is the truth, man. I burned my witness a long time ago, man. When I started my spiritual journey, first I was a Christian, then I was fellowshipping with the Quakers for a while. But they were under the Bible, though. But they had Quaker type of principles. The way they used to worship, sit there in silence, let the Spirit move, anyone to get up and speak. And it was Quaker-like. But they were they had not known the OAHSPE. Then I was an Israelite, and all that time I gave witness to my family. I'm an Israelite. You should be one too. I'm a Christian. You got to be one too. I'm the Third Testament. You got to check that, And I was already, they know who you are, and you can't come back to your family talking about how great this understanding you have is, because they're going to compare you with when you were a knucklehead growing up. So that's what he's saying here. No prophet is accepted in his own village. No physician heals those who know him. That's nice. I like that, man. This is a straightforward straightforward, and practical observation that OAHSPE echoes in his teachings on familiarity, humility, and the limits, look at that, the limits of local influence. The limits of local influence, those closest to you. Prophets and healers are often rejected or undervalued by those there it is right there, closest to them, family, village, daily acquaintances, because familiarity breeds doubt or takes the message for granted. In OAHSPE, this is why higher light often comes through unexpected channels or during new cycles. The old familiar voices lose authority. So it has a wider meaning too, you know. True prophets and physicians, meaning healers of soul and body, are more readily received by strangers or those prepared by circumstance. OAHSPE advises against seeking validation from one's immediate circle. That is the truth. In other words, keep your mouth shut to your family, man. No, that's not what it's saying, but my translation, that is what it's saying, because you ain't going to get nowhere when they point out all your faults, man, and all the times that you were supposed to have been so great and you failed, and you said that. What about your faith? Why? You know, so just keep, man. That saying is so true. OAHSPE advises against seeking validation from one's immediate circle. Instead, live the light consistently, and its fruits will eventually be organized. Live it. Shut up and live it. The soul that serves without needing local acceptance rises above such limitations. That's what I love, that, man. Stay away from the soul, the flesh. Stay away from the flesh's constant pull for acknowledgement, for flattery, for vainglory, for attention seeking. Stay away. Get away from that, man. Get away from it. The soul serves without needing local acceptance. The soul that serves without needing local acceptance rises above such limitations. Meaning, even if nobody knows what you're all about, what you're trying to do, don't care and don't tell you, man. Don't worry about it. Creator say, don't worry about it. You just keep going. Even if everything you do fails, you don't stop, man. We watching you up here. We see what's happening. You just keep going, man. You just keep going, brother, sister. Don't get down, man. Don't get depressed. Don't feel like you ain't nothing. Don't do that, man. This saying encourages perseverance. Do not be discouraged if your own village does not accept you. The wider world and the heavens will. Huh? Jesus said, a city built being on a high mountain and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. This short saying beautifully illustrates the enduring strength and visibility of the faithless, the visibility of true light, a recurring image in OAHSPE. City on a hill cannot be hid, man. The city represents the kingdom of Jehovah, or a community, soul built on high spiritual ground, purity, wisdom, and alignment with the Creator. It's built on a high mountain, founded on elevated truth rather than earthly standards. Fortified, meaning it's strengthened by righteous living, angelic protection, and inner light. Look at that. Such a city cannot fall, man. True spiritual structures endure all cycles and attacks from darkness. It cannot be hidden. A genuine light shines visibly. It cannot be concealed. See, that's why I wonder in the time to come what the Creator is going to do with us, because we truly are going to be a city on a hill, man. When the world come to us and say, how come you ain't falling apart like us? How come your foundation ain't cracking like ours? And then we turn around and say, Jehovah. We say, Jehovah. We say, because our hope ain't in this world and yours is. Our hope ain't in this world, man. It ain't in this world, you know. In the OAHSPE, This is the ideal of faith as communities and individual souls in the cosmic era. Built high on Jehovah's light, they stand unshakable and serve as beacons for the world, no matter how much darkness tries to obscure it. The city on the mountain remains a refuge and a testimony. This saying encourages building your life and works on the highest foundations. They will endure and be seen. Jesus said, preach from your own rooftops that which you will hear in your ear, and the other ear, and in the other ear. For no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel, nor does he put it in a hidden place, but rather he sets it on a lampstand so that all who come in and go out will see its light. The OAHSPE parallel. This is a clear call to bold, open proclamation of the inner light. A recurring directive in OAHSPE for the cosmic era. Preach from your rooftops. Share your truth you receive directly. The inner voice of Jehovah, open and fearlessly. Do not hide it. Now, this needs a little bit of clarification, because I think that a silent witness is more stronger than preaching from. Well, what I think is not important, but a silent witness, I agree with this to an extent. From experience, I don't think approaching people, I don't buy that as much anymore. I'm not advocating hiding the truth, but I'm learning more to wait for opportunities for like people approach you, or they bring, even when they, my criteria was letting people approach me, or they bring the light up, and then I hit, but I think that it's more important to do it gradually rather than preach it from the rooftops, to do it incrementally, only as much as the person you're talking to lets you. I just sense in this statement here a kind of blowing the trumpet, and I don't think the OAHSPE, that's the spirit of the OAHSPE, so I just want to share that. You may think differently, It says, no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel. Classic OAHSPE imagery. The light you are given is not for concealment. Hiding your inspiration or living the truth in secret defeats its purpose. In OAHSPE, this is the duty of the awakened. Let your light shine visibly through righteous living, service, honest testimony. Cosmic revelation is not meant to be a private gnosis. I like that. This is not like secret Masonic knowledge. We ain't about that. No, I can't tell you because this is secret. It's only for a few. I can't tell you the meaning, or I have to kill you. I can't tell you unless you join our group. I can't tell you unless you pay me. Nope, that's not OAHSPE. That is not OAHSPE, man. The cosmic revelation is not meant to be Gnosticism, private gnosis. I was into that at one time. But a beacon for the world. Those who receive the inner light are called to set it high so all can see a bit of it. This saying encourages courage. Speak and live the truth openly on a stand, not hidden away. Gospel of Thomas saying number 34. Jesus said, if a blind man leads a blind man, they will both fall into a pit. OAHSPE parallel. Short, direct, and one of the most practical warnings in the entire list, and OAHSPE fully endorses it. This is a clear caution against following false leaders, blind priests, or unawakened teachers in OAHSPE's cosmology. The blind are those still in darkness, low grade, bound by juges, trapped in old creeds, or lacking spiritual sight. When the blind lead the blind, both descend into the pit, the lower heavens, Hades, chaos, or prolonged bondage after death. OAHSPE repeatedly warns against trusting self-appointed religious authorities, false gods, or those who have not yet risen. They have not yet risen in their own grade. Instead, seek direct light from Jehovah and follow those who demonstrate living truth through their works and purity. The remedy in OAHSPE is simple. Develop your own sight. Individuality. There it is again. Develop your own sight. Do not surrender your soul's journey to another blind guide. Trust yourself, man. If you're sincere and dedicated to the Creator, then you can just be quiet and He will talk to you. You'll get talked to through the OAHSPE, through your own spirit. You will be talked to. Develop your own sight, man. And then when you get a taste of that, you don't need nobody's encouragement. You don't need nobody's acclamation. You don't need nobody's acknowledgement. I mean, it's nice to have people to fellowship with, to talk to, who are trying to build you up and help you and who are like minded. And that's great. That's beautiful, man. But if you have to, you, Faithist, you can stand all on your own, man. I'd rather be, I'm like you. I want to live. I believe, man, that when we cross over, we go to our own kind. We go to a community of brethren who are bent on helping you, you serving them, helping each other, and all the while rejoicing the Creator has given us a beautiful reality to live in that's full of glory and resurrection. I believe it. I'm sorry, I sound kooky. I know it. I know it. I know. But I believe it. I'm a big kid, man. I'm just a big old kid. I am a kid. I believe this stuff, man. Develop your own sight. Learn how to learn your individuality, man, in the Creator. Develop your own sight. Do not surrender your soul's journey to another blind guide. It's a blunt but merciful reminder. Choose your leaders and your own inner guidance wisely. Choose your leaders and your own inner guidance wisely. Saying number 35, Jesus said, "It is not possible for anyone to enter a house of a strong man and take it by force unless he binds his hands. Then he will ransack his house." Now, before I read that, what do you think it means? What do you think that this means right here before I read it? What do you think it means? Do you have any, a guess of what you think this means? Okay, that's enough time. What do you think that this means, man? Let's see what it means. This is a powerful metaphor for spiritual warfare and overcoming lower forces, very much in line with OAHSPE's teachings. The strong man represents the lower self, entrenched habits. Druids, meaning low spirits, are the forces of darkness that guard the house. That's the soul or the world. They guard it. So they were guarding our house, and then we had to break in with the Creator and subdue them. The strong man, which was the Druids. To enter and ransack, meaning free or transform yourself, that house, the higher light must first bind his hands. We must first bind the hands of our Druids. Restrain the power of the lower nature through discipline, purity, and alignment with Jehovah. Only then can the soul be liberated and its treasures' true potential reclaimed. In OAHSPE, this is the daily and eternal labor of resurrection. You cannot simply wish away darkness. You must actively bind the lower self through virtuous living, self-examination, calling on higher light. Once a strong man is restrained, the house can be cleansed and filled with light. The saying is both a warning. Darkness is strong and must be confronted, and an encouragement. It can be overcome. All right. Now, it's 7 o'clock. If anyone is listening to this video or you are in the chat, you want to say something, I'm going to be finished in a few minutes. Before I close the video, put a 1 in the chat. I'll give you the mic, and you can come on and say whatever it is that you want to say. Saying number 36, Jesus said, "Do not be concerned from morning until evening, and from evening until morning what you will wear." OAHSPE parallel. This is a concise call to non-attachment and trust in Jehovah. A recurring practical teaching in OAHSPE. Worry about clothing, food, or material needs distracts from the real work of the soul. OAHSPE teaches that excessive concern with externals, especially vanity, status, or hoarding, keeps the soul bound to corporate and lowers its grade. The one who lives in faith and service that Jehovah provides what is needed for the journey. The one who lives in faith and service trusts that Jehovah provides what is needed for the journey. focuses instead on purity, good works, and inner light. This doesn't mean total neglect of the body. OAHSPE advocates clean, modest, practical living, but freedom from anxious obsession with appearance and possessions. Soul that stops fretting over what you will wear becomes light enough to rise. Simple but profound cosmic wisdom. Seek first the kingdom within, and the rest falls into place. Saying number 37, Jesus said, a person cannot mount 2 horses or bend 2 bows. And a servant cannot serve 2 masters. Otherwise, that servant will honor the one and insult the other. OAHSPE parallel. This is a clear teaching on singleness of purpose and loyalty to the highest light. Something OAHSPE stresses again and again. You cannot ride 2 horses, meaning serve 2 opposing paths at the same time. You cannot bend 2 bows, pursue conflicting goals effectively. A servant cannot serve 2 masters. Eventually, one will be honored and the other slighted. In OAHSPE terms, the 2 masters are Jovi's light versus the lower self, false gods, and materialism. Trying to serve both leads to hypocrisy, divided grades, and eventual fall into lower heavens. The awakened soul chooses one clear path, full allegiance to Jehovah, purity, and resurrection. Half measures insult the higher light. This is weird, this statement. Half measures insult the higher light. That don't sound like it should be in this study. That don't sound right. This is a call to wholeness. Make the 2 one, as in earlier sayings. Divided loyalty keeps the soul in poverty. Single-hearted devotion leads to mastery and ascent. Saying number 38, Jesus said, the kingdom of the Father is like a merchant who had a consignment of merchandise and found a pearl. The merchant was shrewd. He sold the merchandise and bought the pearl alone for himself. You also seek his unfailing and enduring treasure, where no moth comes near to devour and no worm destroys. You also seek his unfailing and enduring treasure, where no moth comes near to devour and no worm destroys. This is another strong parable of discernment and choosing the highest treasure. Very consistent with OAHSPE. The shrewd merchant recognizes the supreme value of the pearl, the kingdom, Jehovah's light, willingly sells everything to obtain it. In OAHSPE, this is the wise soul who releases lower attachments, material concerns, and false doctrines to gain the one enduring treasure, oneness with the Creator and eternal resurrection. The unfailing and enduring treasure is the higher light and higher heavens, untouched by decay, moss, or worms. The forces that destroy earthly riches. The unfailing and enduring treasure is the inner light and higher heavens, man. Untouched by decay, moss, or worms, the forces that destroy earthly riches. OAHSPE teaches exactly this exchange. Give up the temporary and perishable for the eternal. The soul that makes this trade becomes rich beyond measure in the spirit realms. I believe that. Give up temporary and perishable for the eternal. The soul that makes this trade becomes rich beyond measure in the spirit realms. Give up the temporary and perishable. It is called a shrewd spiritual investment. Recognize the pearl when it appears. Let nothing stand in the way of turning it. Agreed. The pearl, the kingdom, the Creator, Jehovah. Saying number 40, Jesus said, a grapevine has been planted outside of the Father, but being unsound, it will be pulled up by its roots and destroyed. The OAHSPE parallel. This is a stark warning about anything not rooted in Jehovah. The grapevine symbolizes religions, philosophies, institutions, or personal paths planted outside of the Father, not grounded in the true light of the all-person. Not grounded in the true light of the all-person. unsound, meaning it's built on false gods, selfishness, creeds, material power, instead of purity and direct inspiration. Wow, it will ultimately be pulled up by its roots and destroyed. OAHSPE teaches that all false systems and kingdoms collapse during cycle changes. Dan Haas, where we are now, only what is planted in Jehovah endures and bears good fruit. Faith this. This ties into OAHSPE's view of history. Old religions, false gods rise and fall, but the direct path to Jehovah remains. Plant yourself firmly in the ever-present, or your efforts will be uprooted. A sobering but clarifying call to examine the root of what you follow. That is something else, man. Examine the root. Religion, from what I've seen, they don't do that. They trust that. They say, well, shoot, man, other people have looked at it more than me. Other educated people, there are highly educated people who believe the same way I do. So there's no reason for me to look, and I'm not going to find anything more than what they have found. So why should I try to investigate, or I'll just believe what they say. Jesus said, show me the stone which the builders have rejected. That one is the cornerstone. Well, I see parallel. This is a powerful image of the rejected becoming the foundation. A recurring theme in OAHSPE. The stone which the builders have rejected represents the humble, the overlooked, the pure light that organized religions and proud leaders dismiss. Oh man, in OAHSPE, this is often the direct inner light of Jehovah, man. The simple faithless path, or the innocent soul that the builders, the priests, false gods, worldly systems cast aside. Yep, for filthy lucre, for money, for prestige and power and authority and vainglory. That's the truth, man. That's the inner light. That's the stone which the builders have rejected. That's the stone that the builders have rejected, the inner light of Jehovah. And it's so, even to this day, and they teach their people to be the same way. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Yet the rejected stone becomes the cornerstone, the essential foundation of the true kingdom and the new world. OAHSPE teaches that the cosmic era is built on what the old systems rejected: direct communion with Jehovah, equality of souls, service over power, and the light of the individual seeker. What man throws away, Jehovah exalts. The saying is both reversal of worldly values and a promise. The humble truth that is despised today will hold up the entire structure tomorrow. Oh, man. That is quite amazing, man. That is quite amazing. The stone which the builders rejected. And it's the inner light, man, and it is so true. The stone, wow, that just knocks me out. It's still being rejected today. There ain't no value in it. The world don't see no value in the stone, the pearl. And there's no value. And we're coming to a time where the oh wow, it's just like the virgins. Then they run and start knocking on the door where the virgins are, the wise virgins, where the faithless are inside the Creator. They run, they see their hope, their foundation, their world cracking, their foundation cracking, not, the flesh taking over, removing religion because they're in survival mode, and the Creator had to touch their flesh to get them to try to seek and find Him. And the foundation is cracking because the stone which the builders rejected has become the cornerstone, but no one told you, you couldn't find them, and it's a terrible thing. It's a truly terrible thing, man. It's right there inside you. The Creator is right there. Kingdom of heaven is within you. Jesus said, whoever blasphemes me, whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven either on earth or in heaven. And boy, is this something else. This is one of the more solemn sayings, and OAHSPE offers a clear lens for it. Blasphemy against the Father and the Son. The outer expressions or messengers of light can be forgiven because it is often done in ignorance. But if you blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, meaning, and the Holy Spirit is a Christian term, it's not the OAHSPE. I mean, only synonymically, if that's a word, synonymly, the Holy Spirit, it's a synonym for the inner light. If you blaspheme the inner light, man, Jehovah's direct quickening presence within the soul, that's different than blaspheming against the Father and the Son. You blaspheme the Holy Spirit, man, that's trying to shine the light, the inner light that's trying to light you up to the Creator. If you blaspheme that, man, if his direct quickening presence within the soul, that's different, man, than blaspheming the Father and the Son. In OAHSPE terms, this is deliberate, persistent rejection of one's own divine spark. Your own divine spark, man. The willful choice to remain. You saying, nope, I want to stay here in Attica State Prison. I want to stay here in San Quentin. I want to stay here in Leavenworth. Hey, man, here go the key, man. Just open the door and come out, man. Nope, I want to stay here where the food is molded and there's roaches everywhere and there's threats of getting killed every day. I want to stay here. I'm in prison. I want to stay. But you can go free, man. Right now, sun shining, birds chirping, Nope, I want to remain in darkness where where there's no assurance of my life, where there's the cells are cold, no heat, no entertainment, nope, I want to stay here. I want to remain in darkness. Now, that's the equivalent of what people say. That is the equivalent, man, when you refuse the inner light. When you refuse the inner light, man, you can't even hear it. Your conscience is waxed over. You can't even hear it. The world done took it away. It's done blinded you. The entertainment, the blandishment of the world, the riches of the world, the materialism of the world, it done took away. It put the inner light, can no longer, you can't even hear it. You don't know who to go to, or the willful choice to remain in darkness, to harm the light in oneself and others, and to refuse resurrection even when it is offered. Even when it is offered, man, you refuse the light. That's the mystery of the human being. That's the mystery of the human being. People walking around us every day in the world, OAHSPE teaches that while no soul is eternally damned, praise Jehovah, the one who blasphemes the Holy Spirit, the one who blasphemes the Holy Spirit places itself in very deep bondage. And it may take many cycles, meaning much suffering, before that soul turns. The unforgiven state is self-chosen and self-perpetuated. You do it to yourself, man, until you, the individual, finally opens to the light. The light, the Creator, the inner light, man, to do right, to come away from deity worship, to be full of good works, to do battle with the self, to become self-abnegating. That's the light. That is the light. This saying is a grave warning. Do not harden yourself against the inner light. That is the one thing that keeps the door closed. The inner light, man, And people, if you reject the light now, people seem to think, well, when situations change, I change my mind. It don't work that way in the spirit. All right, I'm gonna go to the chat now. See, I'm gonna get ready to close the video. Let me go to the chat. People, they don't understand the spiritual realm, man. You don't become enlightened all of a sudden just because you cross over. You don't experience sudden enlightenment. The spiritual realm is a whole different ball game. You go with the spirit you bring. If you are in the light now, you go to the light. If you cannot make the resurrection now, you will make it later, but after a much longer time, having to endure the lower realms. That's what it is all about. Faith is simply appreciate, have been given the ability to tap in to the Creator calling them through their inner light, and they are on the expressway of making the resurrection. That's all it's about, man. That's all it's about. This whole reality, everything, man. That's all. That's the miracle of the faithless, man. That's the miracle of the faithless, man. That's the miracle of the, and it's a crying shame. We can't give our grade to anybody. We can't talk, you know. It's a crying shame. It's a crying shame. And and the Creator is going through the mercy of taking away the world and cracking their foundation and letting them know you should not place all your eggs in the world. You should not do that. But materialism is too good to people, you know. You see accounts every day of the lengths that people go through for even a few years of luxury and entertainment and self-worship. You see it. You brethren see it, man. You know, I'm in the chat. Let me greet the brethren who have come in so I can close the video. Of course, Trisha was here. Good to see you, sis. My brother Matt was here giving us greetings. His wife, Joanna. Brother Elijah, of course. See, Phil Davis said, guys, I'm being heavily attacked by high-level covens, secret societies, witches, wizards, and warlocks, just for trying to serve the Most High Creator of all. I also think using energy weapons. Well, brother, of course, the Creator, He reveals what's happening to you. The Druges, lower level influences. And you got power over them, man. You know what to do. Approach the Creator. You already know what to do, man. You know what to do, brother, if you're still in this room. What does a child do when he gets into some problem? He cries out, man, to his mom, his dad. Cry out. And don't stop, man. Cry out, brother. A faithist should cry out, man, when you're under attack. Now, I'm talking about what happens to me. Sometimes I get on here and testify, man, you know? Cry out, man. You know, are you a son or not, man? Are you a son or not? Hey, brother Philip Davis, my nephew was in the same evil spirits attack. But he kept holding, there it is, see? Hold on. Hold on to the light, man. Hold on to the Creator and the OAHSPE teachings. See, now he's doing well because he understands the devices. There you go. Hey, Phil, are you still in the room? We should have a conversation. If you still here, type a 1. Let me give you the link, man. You should come on. Are you here, Phil? I'm gonna hold out for a few minutes, man. Are you here, brother? Type a 1, man. Here, let me just put the link in the room. And I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I hope you're still in here because you should come on and you should talk to a brother. You should come on, man. Just click on the link. Click on the link if you're still here. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I close the video. You might not be in here. He says, at this point, I just wish they would kill. No, man, this is not right. This is not right, man. At this point, I wish they would just kill me. They're trying to untie me from the most high creator of all this. So sad. And they've been doing it my whole brother. Are you here, man? You should be, man. This brother should come on. Brother, if you listen to me, you should be coming on my chat. So I want to direct your attention to the video comment section where there are different ministries listed, and especially I want to direct your attention to Brother Bayer's Thursday ministry and his channel on YouTube that I featured at the beginning of the video. Please go check it out and look at the work that he had done on John Newbro, and that helps you to understand why Shalem did not work and why the OAHSPE has not exploded yet. Go to the beginning of the video, look at I featured his channel, the brother, amazing work that he is doing. Also, the OAHSPE, I've got the link in there for if you want a free OAHSPE, and also the supplemental set if you want the free, the six volume set, I'll send it to you for free if you just ask. Don't take advantage of me because you can get it on Amazon for its lowest it'll go priced. Brother Phil, I wish you would come on, man. I'm ready to close the video. I want to let you know if you come back and look at this video that I'd like for you to come on Friday when I do my next live, Creator willing. And you should come on, man, and let the brethren build you up and and to let you know, man, that no lie is of the Creator. And you know who's influencing you, you know who they are. You know who's trying to influence you. Those are Trojan spirits on you, brother. And we all got them, and we are supposed to overcome them, man. So you brethren here, this brother here, he needs some intervention on our part, Philip Davis. So I don't think he's in the chat. Hopefully I can get a hold of him next time. Hopefully he'll come in here. So Jehovah, thank you for this video and the information that was shared. And we seem to have a brother under heavy affliction, influences, and I ask for the angels to intervene for the brother and for your light to overpower his Trojan influences that are trying to lead him down and lower his spiritual grade. And I pray you occupy his mind in ministry and serving other brethren, Jehovah. And I ask that for any other brother or sister who are struggling in this regard, Jehovah, that they would just turn to their first love and direct and dedicate themselves to serving their brother. Try to occupy their mind with good things, good works, things they can do to bless somebody else, Jehovah. Jehovah, the situation we're in the world is not good. I see that you're bringing the world to a point where the foundations are going to crack and they're going to look to their deity and they will not receive any help. And I perceive that the faith is, Jehovah, that they will take center stage and that we will have to be ready to give a witness for the light and the reason for the hope that shines within us. So, Jehovah, I thank you again for this video and for your brethren who are secretly going about being proactive to try to spread the kingdom and doing the best they can. I just pray, Jehovah, give prayers of thanks and ask you continue with all of us. So, Jehovah, thank you again. In your name, I give thanks. So let it be. Brethren, thank you for joining me. And until I see you again Friday, Creator willing, I won't be broadcasting Wednesday. There will be no Wednesday Bible study Wednesday. They're going to be doing something else. So, Creator willing, I'll see you next week. And until then, peace be unto you. Shalom.